Chapter 5, we are covering content, and I want to share with you today some of the ways that I really used my content to connect with people and then how that turned into sales and people buying. So, when I moved my business online and I was working with women going through a divorce, which obviously I'm doing very different work now, but when I was doing that, one of the things that I actually did was I went into different divorce groups and I had this paper where I would write down the first sentence that I would see people write that I saw was consistent. Meaning, I noticed it wasn't just one person writing it, it was like several in every group where they had the same issue. And I would write down one liners as the first sentence to a post that I was going to do. So I'll give you an example. I was in a divorce group, and this woman had posted something in the group, and she said, I feel like I'm never going to find love again after my divorce. I then created a post and I said, "Do you feel like you're never going to find love again after your divorce?" And then I would create and I would speak from my heart, and my post was always speaking directly to what the person was moving through, what they were concerned with, what they were struggling with. And so oftentimes I would get women going, "I feel like you're speaking directly to me." And I was, because I was using their exact language. And one of the things that we see a lot is coaches wanting to use language that doesn't actually make sense to their ideal client. And so it's really important that you're clear about who you're helping and you're having your content make sense for them. The other thing I want to bring up about content is it's really important for you to understand that your business is an extension of who you're being. It's not an extension of who you are, because who you are at source is amazing. You're worthy, you're abundant, you're loved, you're all of those things. But most people aren't actually being that way. They're being in their self doubt, they're being in their fear, they're being in their consideration for X, Y, and Z. And so, because your business is an extension of who you're being, then your content should actually allow for people to feel the fullness of who you are. So that would mean that you're not bringing 50% of who you are into your work and into your brand and into your content, but you're bringing 100%, just like you bring 100% with your best friend when you guys are having a conversation. So one of the things that we'll see people often do, and it doesn't work for them, is that when they're creating content and they're positioning themselves as the authority of whatever it is that they're doing, they tend to have a lot of consideration for how they're showing up because they want to look good. They want to come across a certain way. But the reality is, we're all human. We all struggle. We've all overcome adversity in some way or another. We've all moved through things. And your audience wants to know that, like, you've overcome things. Or if you're going through something, how do you navigate that? And so I really want you to give yourself permission in your content to have fun, to be yourself, to be authentic, and to be fully transparent, because that is what people are going to buy from.
Yeah, and they are going to feel just like we've written right here in some of the first few pages of this chapter is that you are broadcasting a frequency, not just a message. So if you post something and you actually energetically are not even behind what you just wrote, that will be felt. That will be felt. People will know
Yeah.
that you were lacking the authenticity there. Maybe it's a copy and paste. Maybe you saw someone else write it. Maybe you're learning from another coach right now and they have a very unique language. They have a very unique type of words that they use, and you're trying to adopt those words because you're seeing that it's successful for them. And now you're starting to post in a language that isn't even yours. And it may not even be yours. It may not even be the language of your buyer. So, as Kyra was mentioning, using the actual words and language of your ideal client. What are they moving through? What do they want? Because you can target pain points, you can target pleasure points, right? So, what are they moving through right now that they will absolutely resonate with feeling? And also, where do they want to be? So, there's two sides of that coin. Your offer, your service happens to be the vehicle that's getting them from where they are now, which is their pain point, to where they want to be, which is their pleasure zone. And you are the vehicle taking them. They really don't care what vehicle they get in. They just want to know you relate to them and their pain, and that you know how to get them to pleasure. And they will hop in whatever method of transportation you're taking them in. So ensure that it is that you know what they're experiencing right now, and that you've also moved through it yourself so that you can speak authentically to those pain points. You've created the pillars and the marketing positions that you'll always be able to go back and speak to. And even in your own life, you'll know a way that your life resonates with your brand. And that's how all of you gets to show up, because you're essentially an influencer and you are the face of your brand, right? If you're a coach and you're working with people, they're looking at all of you. And so this is a way that every aspect of your life gets to come together and be part of everything that you're selling.
And your content is it's an opportunity for you to connect with people. So the other thing, to Jenny's point here, it's like, okay, let's say for example, you are a business coach and you're going to be working with women who are starting their business. Most women starting their business, they're not waking up going, I really just want to be embodied in my divine feminine this morning. They're not saying that. They're going, I'm broke as fuck. I want to make money. This isn't working. I don't like sales. And so, I'm saying this because we've seen a lot of people using this language, and there's nothing wrong with it, but you need to understand people aren't waking up in the morning saying they want to be in a greater consciousness. Like, that's not what they're saying. They're saying something else, right? They're like, I want to have sex in my marriage. It's dry. I'm uninspired. Like, these are some of the things that they're saying. So when you're creating content, understand that at the end of the day, your content isn't about you. It is about who you're here to serve. But if you're going to serve at the highest level, then you need to bring 100% of yourself, because nobody wants the watered down version of you. And the truth is that when you give yourself permission to be 100% you in your content, whether you're going live or you're posting, yes, you're going to be judged. Those people don't pay your bills. It doesn't matter. When you're giving yourself permission to show up 100% as you, and that is felt as the extension of your business, people tend to trust you more, but also it brings in the right type of client, because the last thing that you want to do is pretend to be somebody online. And then let's say you get, a client, whether it's in private mentorship or maybe it's a retreat and you're meeting them in person and they're like, hang on, you're wildly different in person than what you portray online. And now they're uncomfortable. So don't also forget that you're building and creating a business, and the process of creation should be fun. No aspect of who you are should be left out of the creation of your business.
So let's go out and make some killer content that converts.